It's almost hard to wrap your head around the sheer potential brewing in India right now.
It really is.
Anand Mahindra, he really hit the nail on the head, didn't he? Saying the economy is on the cusp of this historic leap.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Yeah, these fundamental principles that can empower you, our listener, to not just, watch this growth, but actually be part of it, thrive in it.
Exactly. And we've got a fantastic resource for this deep dive, Saint in a Suit by Venu Bhagavan.
Right. You shared this with us. And it's more than just a book, isn't it?
Oh, much more. It's multimedia. There are video lessons, audio too. And it's really a tribute to Sri Ratan Tata.
A real saint in a suit himself.
Precisely. Achieving massive success, but, with that inner peace, that integrity.
Yeah. So our mission today is to kind of unpack that for you.
Distill the key stuff.
Yeah. The crucial insights, the actionable bits that you can use, whether for your own venture or just, understanding leadership now.
We want to get you that knowledge quickly, thoroughly, but without feeling like, information overload.
And hopefully spark some of those aha moments. Think of me as the friend who's already devoured this and is just buzzing to share the best parts.
And I'm here to help connect the dots, give that broader context, these so what.
So what?
Yeah, what does it actually mean for you?
Exactly. What are the real implications?
Okay, let's dive in then. The book kicks off straight away saying these are unprecedented times for entrepreneurs in India.
Yeah, it quotes R. Narayana Murthy from Infosys.
Right. Saying this generation has opportunities unlike anything in the last, 3 to 5 centuries.
Incredible, isn't it? And here's where it gets really interesting. Connecting to Venu Bhagavan's points, he pulls in Ritam Desai from Morgan Stanley, India, talking about 4 massive global trends that are really favoring India right now.
Okay, the 4 Ds. Let's break those down.
Right. First up, demographics. India's got this young, dynamic population, huge workforce, massive market.
Check. Makes sense. What's next? Digitalization. The speed at which digital tech is being adopted across India, it's staggering. Cheap internet, smartphones everywhere.
Yeah, you see it everywhere. Okay, number 3.
Deglobalization. Now, this sounds counterintuitive maybe, but...
How so?
Well, as global supply chains are diversifying, shifting, India's positioned to become a key hub. Manufacturing services.
Okay, so less reliance on single sources globally means more opportunity for India.
Exactly. And the 4th is decarbonization.
Right, the green energy push.
Yeah, India's focus on renewables aligns perfectly with where the world is heading. But the real power, the book argues, is how they work together.
Synergistically.
Precisely. Digitalization boosts the young demographics' impact. Deglobalization gives them somewhere to channel that energy, new manufacturing, new services, and it's all happening under this global push for decarbonization.
Wow. That creates some serious momentum, doesn't it?
Massive momentum. And that ties into this idea Bhagavan introduces, Udyami.
Which is Hindi and Sanskrit for entrepreneur, right?
Right. But he defines it as a momentum builder. He actually reframes entrepreneurs as modern freedom fighters.
Freedom fighters.
Building businesses that don't just make money, but uplift communities, build the nation, a purpose beyond just innovation.
That's a powerful idea. It kind of connects to that slogan evolution, doesn't it?
It does. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, hail the soldier, hail the farmer. Then Vajpayee added Jai Vigyan, science, and Modi added Jai Anusandhan, research.
And Bhagavan suggests adding
Jai Udyami, hail the entrepreneur. His point is, in this AI age, it's all about creation, innovation. So the entrepreneur is central, especially during India's Amrit Kal, this key development phase.
That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Entrepreneurship is vital, but focusing just on Udyami, does it maybe risk downplaying the others? Science, research, they're still crucial drivers, surely.
That's a very fair point. And maybe the idea is less about replacing and more about recognizing this additional crucial pillar in today's world. They're all interconnected, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the ground is fertile, but what about the actual journey, the path to prosperity?
Well, the book hits you with a pretty striking statistic. Entrepreneurs, they drive 50% of the wealth among high net worth individuals.
50%. Wow. What about the others?
Investors, real estate folks, entertainment figures, corporate execs, they're all roughly in the 10 to 20% range each.
So entrepreneurship really stands out. It feels more accessible, maybe, as a path.
It certainly highlights its impact.
Yeah.
But then, comes the reality check.
Yes, the 90% failure rate for startups.
Exactly. It's sobering. And the book lists out 14 common reasons why.
14. Okay, give me the highlights.
Well, things like no real market need for the product, lack of vision or purpose, running out of cash, obviously.
Yeah, capital's a big one.
Weak business model, weak team, scaling too fast.
Premature scaling, right? What else?
Not standing out, pricing issues, legal or regulatory nightmares, bad marketing, not adapting.
Okay, I get the picture. It's a minefield.
It can be customer neglect, lack of guidance or mentors, and just plain old burnout. That's a big one too.
Burnout, yeah. I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel that. It seems like many of those reasons, they kind of boil down to a gap, don't they? Between the idea inside and the reality outside.
That's a great way to put it. Either not truly getting the market or just not having the chops to execute properly.
And this leads into that idea of the whole person paradigm for the AI age.
Yes. The argument is we need to ditch that old industrial age thinking. Like Stephen Covey said, it's a choice between mediocrity and greatness.
You have to think differently to navigate all this change.
Completely differently. We're moving from Industry 4.0, all that automation and cyber-physical stuff, to Industry 5.0 or Society 5.0.
Okay, what's the shift there?
It's less about just automation and more about humans and smart systems collaborating. Technology serving humanity, basically. Human creativity becomes key again.
And sustainability, too.
Absolutely central. Not just a nice to have anymore, but fundamental.
Okay, this next bit really got me thinking. Finding your voice.
Yes. That's powerful.
It's not just about what you're good at, is it? It's that intersection.
Exactly. Where your talents, your passions, and your conscience.
Your values.
Right. Where all that meets a real human need, that sweet spot.
What you love, what you're great at, what the world needs, and what feels right to you.
That's the core of it. And the purpose of any business, the book says, it's actually quite simple.
Go on.
Make life easier for yourself and, crucially, for others.
Make life easier. I like that. And it touches on that choice too, doesn't it? Operating from love or fear.
Yeah, drawing on Gary Zukov. Are you coming from a place of abundance, of possibility, or scarcity and limitation? It sets the whole tone.
Okay, let's talk about something we've all probably done. Sticking with something that's, well, clearly not working.
The sunk cost fallacy.
Exactly. That trap where you keep throwing good money or time or energy after bad just because you've already invested so much.
It's psychological torture sometimes.
So how do you beat it?
Focus relentlessly on the future value. What's the potential going forward? And you have to reframe failure. It's not an endpoint. It's data. It's learning.
Knowing when to make that smart departure, as the book calls it, let go.
Precisely. And that ties into the difference between being a firefighter entrepreneur.
Constantly putting out fires, reacting.
Yeah, living in crisis mode. Versus being a visionary leader who's actually shaping the future.
How do you make that shift from firefighter to visionary?
The book suggests concrete steps. Prioritize your own well-being. You can't pour from an empty cup. Get good at delegating. Stay laser focused on the big goals. Use technology and processes smartly.
And the team culture.
Hugely important. Build a positive, robust culture. It's about moving from managing chaos to mastering the future.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Well-being. The book really hammers this home, doesn't it? Holistic well-being.
Absolutely critical. Physical, mental, and spiritual, that sense of connection to something bigger. It's not just fluff. It's foundational for prosperity.
And that distinction between inspired action out of joy.
Versus frustrated action for joy.
Yeah. Like, are you doing things because you feel good or doing them hoping they'll make you feel good? Big difference.
Huge. Your internal state, your way of being, actually creates your external world. Joyful states attract more joy.
It mentions the happy chemicals too, right? Dopamine,
oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. Understanding how they work and how to trigger them consciously, that's a practical tool for resilience.
like a personal chemistry set for well-being.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And there are those act as if coaching questions too.
Right, shifting your perspective on time, values, information.
Powerful ways to unlock new thinking.
And then there's VB's hierarchy of needs. That builds on Maslow.
It builds on the principle of being leads to doing, leads to having.
Okay.
It starts with basic needs, then physical and mental well-being, then finding your absolute passion,
Which leads to.
wealth creation, and finally, purpose and fulfillment. It shows success really flows from the inside out.
Which brings us neatly to that passion, purpose, profit sweet spot.
That's where greatness lies, according to the book. When those three align, you're building something sustainable and impactful.
And business ikigai.
Yeah.
Like the Japanese concept.
Exactly. Finding that intersection, what you love, what you can get paid for, what the world needs, and what you're great at. That's your launch pad.
But crucially, you have to actually do something with all this knowledge.
Yes. Start the engine. Don't just learn, act. Turn knowledge into results.
Okay, this next one hit home for me. Your self-worth creates your net worth.
Powerful, isn't it? It emphasizes mastering your thoughts, that TEA model.
Thoughts ignite emotions. Emotions fuel actions. Actions create achievements.
Right. It's about seeing the value in yourself first. Recognizing everyone has a gift.
To discover, develop, and give back.
And defining success on your terms, not society's, not someone else's.
Which involves that entrepreneurial leap, right? Through the zones.
Comfort zone, courage zone, growth zone, transformation zone. It's a journey.
And you have to battle the gremlins along the way, those negative thoughts.
Oh yeah, the self-sabotage. The book says, be a warrior, not a worrier. Choose gratitude, inspiration, curiosity.
Because whatever you focus on expands.
Exactly. Focus on lack, you get lack. Focus on abundance, cultivate gratitude, you find more abundance.
And those fears to fortune, the 4 big roadblocks.
Fear of dreaming big, fear of failure, fear of upsetting people.
And even fear of success.
Yeah. And the book gives antidotes for each. It all comes back to mindset first.
That's the foundation, constant restarting, resetting, refocusing.
And the distinction between HSI and HNI is key here.
High self-worth individuals versus high net worth individuals.
Right. HSI is about inner wealth, resilience, self-belief, those intangibles. HNI is outer wealth, the tangible assets.
And the point is,
high self-worth can handle any net worth. But high net worth without self-worth, that's often fragile.
Makes sense. The book also says everyone is a business person.
In some form, yeah. Employee, freelancer, owner, investor, we're all exchanging value. And it talks about the king's mindset.
Burning ambition, action-oriented, focused vision.
That drive. And then the 3 roles: creator, operator, destroyer.
CCO, COO, CDO. Chief Creating, Operating, and Destruction Officer.
Exactly. Innovation, execution, and knowing when to let go or disrupt. You need that balance.
And the core skills are build, sell, serve.
Fundamentally, learn those 3 things.
It mentions Gallup's builder profile too. Conductor, expert, rainmaker, key talents.
And that simple dreamer, realist, critic model for vetting ideas.
Dream the big idea, figure out how to make it real, then critique it constructively.
Yeah. And then that bold statement, the end age of the average.
Right. Strive for exceptionalism, mastery, get out of the crowded red ocean.
And find your blue ocean opportunity. Less competition, more potential.
And for planning, it suggests the business model canvas or lean canvas.
Great tools for mapping everything out, but the emphasis is always understand the problem first, understand the customer.
Fall in love with the problem, not your solution.
Crucial, because your business isn't really about your product. It's about the customer's need, their desire, their pain point. Your product is just the answer.
And finding your minimum viable audience, your MVA.
Yes. Those initial true believers, focus on them first. Don't try to boil the ocean. Start specific.
The book touches on different business models too, core ones, hybrid ones.
Yeah, and mentions TAM, SAM, CM, CM later, just ways to think about your market size, from the total possible down to who you can realistically reach.
Okay, let's shift to the longer view. Vision, sustainability, finite versus infinite mindset.
Big difference. Finite is about winning, beating others, getting promoted faster. It's a limited game.
And infinite.
Driven by a cause, a purpose bigger than yourself, playing for the long haul, for service.
And the key is context first, content next.
Absolutely. Your why, your purpose has to drive the what, the actual work.
Because purpose creates environment. Great leaders start with why.
Like Simon Sinek says. And the book uses Robert Dilts' logical levels: purpose, identity, values, capabilities, behaviors, environment. High-performing organizations are built on principles.
Like a BHAG.
Yeah.
Big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yes, a BHAG, core purpose, core values, and a brand promise. And that brand promise needs to be sharp.
Like one line addressing the client's biggest pain.
Exactly. Clear, concise, compelling.
And organizational culture, the visible stuff and the invisible stuff.
Right. You need that clear organizational vision document spelling everything out. Purpose, vision, mission, audience, values, promise, goals, principles.
It takes courage to play that infinite game, doesn't it?
It does. Finding a just cause, building trust with peers, having a worthy rival even, and staying committed to the cause above any single strategy.
And organizations evolve too, right? From individual-driven.
Team-driven, system-driven, data-driven, culture-driven, and ultimately purpose-driven. That's the peak.
The core message comes through again. Awaken the creator in you.
Yeah, remembering we're spiritual beings leading a human life. Our work can express that.
Okay, so you've got the foundation, the purpose. Now scaling up. Play big.
The ultimate goal here, the book suggests, is building something sellable, something with inherent transferable value. And that means setting BAJs.
Big, hairy, audacious goals again. Jim Collins, the 10X rule. Thinking bigger.
Much bigger. And there's a process. Know your values, know where you are now, envision the future, set that bold goal with a time frame, and get everyone aligned.
And define your playing field clearly. Where you will play, and importantly, where you won't.
Super important for focus. Setting that clear purpose, focus, and goals, the BHA, then yearly, quarterly, monthly targets.
Uses that from script to screen. A cash flow journey idea.
Right. Covering the 3 key areas, vision and foundation, strategy and execution, and financials and model. They all have to work together.
And the power of a vision board. Making it visual.
Yes, and getting emotionally involved with the end goal. Keep asking why until you hit that deep motivation.
The book also briefly mentions 4 big growth strategies. Collins, good to great.
Good to great disciplined people. Disciplined thought. Then Vern Harnish's scaling up the Rockefeller habits for execution.
Peter Thiel's 0 to 1.
Creating something totally new, aiming for monopoly. And Reid Hoffman's blitzscaling.
Which is all about speed, right? Grab market share fast, even if it's messy.
Exactly. Prioritizing speed above all else, often for network effect businesses, different approaches for different situations. Good to great is very internal discipline focused, while blitzscaling is aggressive external dominance.
Got it. Okay, final big section. Level 6 leadership.
This starts with a crucial distinction, management versus leadership.
Management is tasks, processes.
Leadership is people. Leaders are responsible for the people who are responsible for the results.
And good leaders create more leaders, not just followers.
Extraordinary leaders do, yes. And a huge warning. Ego is the enemy of entrepreneur.
Keep the ego in check. It advocates for being centered leadership.
Rooted in love, empathy, service.
And there are 6 levels of leadership, with level 6 being purpose-driven.
That's the pinnacle. And within that, 5 key roles leaders need to play at different times. Visionary, transformational, servant, crisis, and charismatic leader.
Because ultimately, every organization is people serving people.
Regardless of the product or service. So building that A+ team is everything. Right mindset, character, teamwork.
And building a community around your VIA, values, intentions, abilities, and your WHY.
Yes, based on shared goals, authentic connections, valuing contributions, creating a welcoming space, and being adaptable.
Authenticity seems key. Real relationships.
Built on connection, active listening, respect, avoiding sarcasm.
Sarcasm can kill trust, can't it?
Easily. Managing emotions, apologizing when needed, leading with compassion, caring for well-being, being yourself, and using words wisely.
And replacing expectations with agreements.
Crucial. Unspoken expectations lead to disappointment. Clear agreements involve open communication, negotiation, documentation.
Because future-based language shapes your future.
Right. Are you letting a default future happen, or are you designing the future you want and speaking it into existence?
The Cartesian questions help with decisions too, right? Exploring all angles.
What happens if you do? What happens if you don't? What won't happen if you do? What won't happen if you don't? Forces clarity.
And clarity plus timing is key for decisions. Remembering that not deciding is also a decision.
With its own consequences. Then that provocative question.
Are you a mother or a nanny to your business?
Huge difference in commitment, ownership, long-term care. Are you truly invested or just looking after it temporarily?
And ultimately, build a life, not just a business. Prioritize loved ones.
Don't lose sight of what truly matters.
The book wraps up leadership with the 5 pillars of Dharma.
Knowledge, love, justice, dedication, courage. As the foundation for real prosperity and happiness.
And those stages of leadership legacy. Beginner, survivor, builder, strategist.
Trustee of reputation, and finally, legend of impact. A whole journey.
Okay, bringing it home. Creating momentum, getting results. The plane analogy.
Yeah, tractor, bus, car, race car, flight. Knowing which stage you're in and when and where to land or consolidate.
And being a movement maker, not a taker, breaker, faker, or joker.
Entrepreneurs drive things forward. They make moments happen.
Which connects to the flywheel effect. Building momentum.
Consistent effort in the right places and having the right people on the bus in the right seats, that's paramount.
Because excellence is cheap and cheap is expensive.
In the long run, yes. Skimping on talent or quality costs you more later. Investing in excellence pays off.
But excellence doesn't have to mean breaking the bank, right?
No, smart cost management, lean thinking. It's about being effective and efficient. Requires daily financial discipline.
Focusing on those 4 pillars: revenue, profitability, cash flow, financial planning.
Got to keep your eye on all 4.
And understanding economies of scale and scope.
Key for lowering costs as you grow and optimizing how you use resources across different activities, which leads to leverage.
The power of leverage.
Yeah.
Using resources strategically. Financial leverage, people, tech.
Networks, collaboration, marketing, influence, mentoring, brand, knowledge, operations. Using everything you have to amplify your impact.
And the biggest time levers ever: the internet and AI.
Unprecedented tools, plus the power of team time, effective collaboration.
So stay focused, like a postage stamp.
Stick to your destination. Practice mastery daily. Say no to distractions to protect your big yes.
Because ultimately, cash is the oxygen for any business.
You have to monitor it constantly, like your heartbeat. Without it, nothing else matters.
Okay, last piece: sales and marketing. The lifeblood.
Show it, sell it, profit. Simple as that. You have to connect with customers.
That matrix is interesting. Core competence versus marketing capacity.
Yeah, showing how you can be a hero, high on both, a survivor, maybe strong competence, weak marketing, a looser, weak on both, or even a scammer, strong marketing, weak substance. Helps you see where you are.
And marketing has evolved, hasn't it, from product-focused?
All the way to Marketing 5.0, technology for humanity. Now it's the age of personalized experiences driven by AI.
But the core intention should always be.
Solving the customer's problem. Approach them with the intent to serve, not just to sell.
And finally, understanding your market size. TAM, SAM, SOM, CM.
Yeah, total addressable market down to your specific customer market,
Yeah.
knowing the potential.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. An incredibly rich deep dive.
It really covers the spectrum, doesn't it?
So, boiling it down, a couple of key takeaways for you, the listener. I mean, firstly, that absolute need to align passion, purpose, and a real-world need. Finding that why.
That seems fundamental. And secondly, the idea that your inner game, your well-being, your self-worth is directly linked to your outer success, your net worth. You can't really separate them.
So true. Which leads us to maybe one final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
As we're all navigating this age of AI, Industry 5.0, what unique voice can you cultivate right there at that intersection? Your talents, your passions, your conscience to serve a real human need in a way that's, truly impactful and sustainable.
That's a great question to sit with. How do you bring your whole self, your values into what you create?
Exactly. That integration. Well, thank you so much for sharing this source, Saint in a Suit, with us and for taking this deep dive.
It's been fascinating to explore.
We really hope this conversation has sparked some new ideas, maybe some inspiration for your own journey, whatever that might be.